What is it called? Wait, what was that? What was that?
Infall.
Infall?
Solid line.
Wait.
Weight.
Heavy. Solid.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Weight. Okay, good. That's great. Now, what about a vertical line?
Texture. Texture.
Texture. Good. What else? Increases the length. Okay. Look at the seam in the photo over there by the Freedom Lightener. See the seam, the white seam? See the length of the line? It's everywhere, right? And the window seal, the length of the line. It gives you the length. Okay? Now let's think of diagonal in a haircut. What does diagonal create? In a haircut.
Makes everything softer.
Makes everything softer, gives you more layers, gives you more movement. Okay, now let's flip it. Remember I asked you this afternoon, boom. I asked you to think of hair cutting, and I want you to think of color application the same way you're doing hair cutting. So now let's think of horizontal lines in a color application. What does it create? Let's think about it. If we're doing foils, dimensional color, and we're doing horizontal lines, what happens? Look at it happening. What's happening?
It's getting heavy.
It's starting to what?
Getting heavy.
It's getting heavy. So what's the effect it's going to have? Slipping. What's the effect it's going to have? Color-wise, what's it going to look like? It's going to look solid. The color is going to end up looking very solid. Or monochromatic. And she's asking you for dimension. She wants beautiful dimension like that photo. But yet we put in horizontal lines. Doesn't work. And we put a lot of them in there. Right? Especially if she's got a pumpkin head. Vertical lines in color. What do you consider a vertical line to create in color?
Demarcation.
Demarcation. What else? What about panels?
Yeah.
Chunks. Right? It'll create chunks of color. Chunks of color. Big pieces of color. Right? If you have really long hair, do you think that you want to see those streaks? No, you want it more blended. So vertical line may not be the line that I use. Now let's think of diagonal lines. What does that create in color? Who can tell me? Don't be shy. I know you have the answer.
Shade, maybe?
Diamond.
Less is more money. By creating diagonal lines with foiling or your application, you're creating more movement, more momentum in the color, more definition, but you're doing a lot less work. Because now you're working with the round of the head shape. Now you're going to be using diagonal lines as the primary line that you use in your color application. Did that help? Make it clear. Because if you consider a hair color application the way you would a haircut, you're coloring the haircut now. We've never really thought that way. We always considered, let's just put as many foils and create as many dimensional colors as we can, and then we look at it, it's like, well, why does it look solid? Because we didn't consider the line or the elevation, or did I over-direct the hair to place that color on it? Cool? So you ready for the technique? Okay. So today, what I'm going to share with you is, do you remember the formulation that we palette. $718. Beautiful, beautiful base color. But what if I added gray to it? You're going to get a really pretty dark blonde. The formula on here is not exact. I added gray to this one. I alternated 1531 with 30 grams of 40 volume. It's always a 1 to 2 mixer. And then formula C is going to be cream bleach, but on this mannequin, she's already blonde, so I'm just going to use 2000 with 10 volume. That's it, to hand paint it. You ready to see it? Okay. So if Rebecca could bring me up the mannequin, please, I'd appreciate that. Did you get the formula? Okay. And we will put these up on the wall so that you can see them, but you can take a photo. Go ahead. I'll make sure I give this to Rebecca.
How much gray would you put in the?
I would do equal parts. If she wants a really dishwater blonde, and she's about a level 8, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And then you break up your ratios, maybe 2 to 1, maybe 2 parts of 718 to 1 part of gray, or maybe, depending on where we're not even considering gray coverage yet either.
No, we're not.
Now that's the semi, bless you. So what if I use red activator? Red activator to give me more lift and deposit because it's going to open the cuticle because it's 2% for 7 volume. Okay. So here's the technique. We touched up her base first. Okay? And then I'm going to use diagonal lines in the back and I'm going to alternate my formulas that I just shared with you. So I'm going to show you. She's a tall blonde. And if any of you want to come around, please feel free to do that. You can do that. You can come up here with me. Just make sure we're conscious of everybody else that's sitting in the group. And if you want to take photos, you can do that as well. Okay. So the back of the head is my first sectioning. I'm going to take it into 3 sections. Where my comb leaves the curvature of the head is section 1. So it leaves there. This is going to be my first section. And I'm taking the curvature of the head. There it is. This is section 1. Section 2 is going to be the widest of the entire 3 sections. That's where the most concentration of hair is in that head shape, right about above the occipital. So we're going to take this and we're just going to create a V. That's section number 2. And this is going to be section 3, the length. Because the focal point